an adult, let's put her at full mass, decided to throw a party for children to engage in inappropriate conduct and have them engage in inappropriate conduct as well, it is insane. Shannon O'Connor, a 48-year-old party mom in California, is accused of throwing secret alcohol-fueled parties for underage teens in her mansion and encouraging the juveniles to engage in sex acts, some of which were allegedly not even consensual. In her mansion, according to the allegation, this was done for her own gratification. Also allegedly performed multiple acts online, searches for terms related to the sexualization of minors. You're looking at a monster. This is true, you're looking at a pure monster. O'Connor allegedly used social media platforms to communicate with students at Los Gatos High School, where two of her sons were enrolled. She would often use Snapchat or text messages telling teens to leave their homes late at night, come to her house where they could drink alcohol that she purchased for them. Prosecutors say O'Connor hosted the parties for kids, mostly 14 and 15, where she would advocate for juveniles to engage in consensual and non-consensual sex acts, buying vodka and Fireball whiskey. O'Connor allegedly provided the kids with condoms and coached them not to tell their parents about the parties. She also allegedly discouraged the children from calling for help when one of the partygoers would pass out or vomit from drinking too much, authorities said. At one party, O'Connor handed a teenager a condom and pushed him into a room with another drunk teen, officials said. During a New Year's Eve party with about 5 14-year-old children, she allegedly watched and laughed as a drunk teen battered a young girl in bed. At one party, in another case, she allegedly brought a drunk teen into a bedroom in her home where an intoxicated 14-year-old was lying in the bed. Afterwards, girl asked O'Connor, quote, "Why did you leave me in there with him?" Question mark. Like, why did you do that? Question mark. Like you knew what he was going to do to me. Put a picture up again. That's a monster. There's more. Prosecutors say she also let a minor drive her SUV in a parking lot while two other kids were hanging onto the back of the vehicle, obviously not concerned about their safety. One of the two teens hanging onto the back allegedly fell off and was knocked unconscious. At the time, O'Connor convinced police that everything was fine and she was taking the kids home, but the boy was knocked unconscious, suffered a severe concussion, and was up all night vomiting and experiencing headaches. Prosecutors say, put up a picture again. I wonder, what was it about her that allowed the police to ignore an unconscious teenager and believe her? I wonder. The charges. O'Connor, whose 15-year-old son is one of the victims in the case, is currently facing 39 criminal charges, including felony child abuse, sexual assault, sexual battery, annoying or molesting a child, and providing alcohol to minors. O'Connor has pleaded not guilty to all charges against her and is scheduled to appear in court for a hearing on November 6th. Earlier this year, O'Connor was hospitalized after 5 female inmates at the Santa Clara County Jail allegedly beat her in a vicious and unprovoked attack. Okay. So where do you start? Well, let's start with the fact that at one point there's adverse police interaction. A police officer has the opportunity to stop a whole lot of this from happening in the future if the cop looks at the evidence. I guarantee you if, let's say, O'Connor was of a different hue, that evidence would have been looked at significantly. How many times have we seen police officers engage in extreme action against a Black mother for nothing, for what turned out to be nothing? This was a something. And somehow she was able to talk herself out of any criminal punishment or penalty. And then the severity of it, the extreme nature of this, having them come to her home, her mansion, involving her own children, engaging not only in this extreme criminal behavior, but setting up individuals under her authority to be violated as if she's their friend. You can trust her. And then she lures you in and sets you up. This is a monster, in my humble opinion. I do these stories to remind everyone that monsters come in all shapes and sizes and will typically engage in behavior in order to be trusted by those they victimize. Ben, thoughts?
Doc, she was beaten in jail, it said, in an unprovoked attack. I wouldn't call it unprovoked. She provoked it by being somebody who decided to ruin the lives and innocence of so many children that were trusted to her care, including her own children. I mean, monster is putting it lightly. She is a depraved, disgusting devil of a human being. And you're also right. You know, the cops came there and what did they see? Oh, just a child that was knocked unconscious from falling outside of a car. You don't get knocked unconscious when you're inside of the vehicle. It happens when you're hanging off the back of the car. It's the most endangering behavior possible. You couldn't find something worse. I guess maybe it's not as bad as finding a little bit of weed in someone's car who is not endangering the lives of any unconscious minors, but it's close.
Yeah. Obviously, this is going forward in the criminal justice system. She has pleaded not guilty. We will follow this until its completion.